The Edmonton Oilers have not won at Rexall Place since October 27th. Those were good times. They had won 4 straight at Rexall. Now they're trying to halt a 5-game losing streak. Tonight's starting netminder first for the Chicago Blackhawks. It was supposed to be Antti Raanta in net, making his first start since late October. He is not feeling well, so Corey Crawford gets the start again. His 10th consecutive start for the Chicago Blackhawks. Down to the other end after a night off last night, Ben Scrivens is back in net. His last win was that game, October 27th. It was a shutout against the Montreal Canadiens.
Flipped it over to the plate. We're going to find on the cross time. The Oilers by Chad Johnson. Cam Talbot got better as the season went on for the Oilers. But they need him to be good right off the hop. Early in the season this time around. Referees tonight are Brian Buckner and Kyle Lynn and Darren Gibbs and Mark Wheeler are the linesmen. And we're ready for hockey for the first time in Rogers Park.
With you a solid 200-foot, 3-period effort.
And Brouwer couldn't hold the puck into the line. It's over and back, and there's an offside.
The importance here for the Edmonton Oilers is a much better defensive play. You mentioned the Calgary Flames problems, 30th in the year last year, but the Edmonton Oilers were 27th. And this is a team that needs to be a much better defensive team. And Jim, I think Cam Talbot in goal for the Oilers has got to be a guy who gets off to a great start. It was not a good October, November for him last year, and he's going to have to be much more solid in the Oiler net.
By the end of November, these teams were...
Ian Walsh and Chris Lee are the referees. Andy McKelvin and Kyle Murchison are the linesmen. And right away, the Edmonton Oilers dump it into the Chicago zone. Starting the line of David Perron on this unit now with Eberle and Nugent Hopkins. Benoit Pouliot out 5 to 6 weeks after suffering a broken bone in his right foot last night against the New Jersey Devils. Blocking a shot. So Perron, a guy they need to get going, plays with the big line. Nugent Hopkins in over the line, dumps it in, and that line will change, and out comes Taylor.
5 minutes, 53 seconds of 1 hour, 35 minutes, 24 seconds.
And the play is whistled down.
The difference is, and one of the things the Oilers have really struggled with has been between the pipes. You need a save. And Scrivens, yes, it's a breakaway. Yes, it's a great player coming in on you. But you need a save. Look at the other end. Your team's in there. We're in Chicago. And Crawford doesn't make 1 or 2. He has made 3 solid saves. And the last one, you're going to see a leg save here as he slides his left leg back across. Look how quick he got across that net. And that's the kind of goaltending you need when you're...
5 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 seconds. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 50, 5 minutes, 56.
And the play is whistled down.
Seconds of 1 hour, 45 minutes.
The difference is, and one of the things the Oilers have really struggled with has been between the pipes. The leg slides his left leg back across. Look how quick he got across that net. And that's the kind of goaltending you need when you're getting peppered. You go down with
1-0. With you tonight. Balls unit now with Eberle and Nugent Hopkins.
1 minute 30. 1 minute 40 seconds. 1 minute 41 seconds.
All now playing in line with Leon Draisaitl and Teddy Purcell. There's Marcus Booger snapping a shot block right in front of him, and it bounces out to center ice. O'Dea goes across to Jomerson. Smith digging forward along with Marcus Cogan. Joachim Nordstrom, the third member of this Chicago unit. Back to the line. There's a one-time shot by Michael Rosenthal. And Jeff Petrie settles it down in behind his own net. Takes the Chicago bounce, goes into the corner. Petrie swats at it up the boards, and it's kept in by the Blackhawks. Here is Martin Marincin. Marincin, who was a healthy scratch for 5 games, got back into the lineup last night. Nikita Nikitin is a healthy scratch this evening. Keith Ollie gets back into the lineup along the blue line core. Now here comes Steve Piranzato, a 30-year-old who's trying to make the most of his late opportunity here in the NHL. This is his 21st NHL game. Playing his 3rd straight since being called up.
He didn't miss by much there. He had an offside shot there and just over the glove of Corey Crawford.
Here's Boyd Gordon trying to muscle that puck around the edge towards the ball. Pins into the corner. They get a screen, sweep it around the boards. We're in the net near side by Andrew Comes into the corner after the initial stop was made by Crawford. Crawford, who by his standards did not have a great night, although they did get the win on Thursday against the Calgary Flames. 3 goals against on 27 shots. But overall, he's had an excellent season. The workhorse for the Blackhawks between the pipes. Here is Duncan Keith. First pass up to number 24, Philip Deneau, who's playing his first NHL game. Blackhawks are a little banged up on the blue line and up front, and so Deneau is getting an opportunity here. Just called up from Rockford.
Going to try to outmatch his buddy Clendening, who scored on his first shot in his first NHL game. His first NHL goal in Calgary the other night. He's going to try to do that tonight if he can do it to match his buddy.
Here comes Perreault. He's got 47 shots on net, Gary, and just 1 goal to show for it. He led the Oilers last season in that department. Loose puck for Nugent Hopkins, one-timer, and the save made by Crawford. Rebound is swept aside. Eberle stays on the puck. He is surrounded by Bickle and Keith, who takes the puck away. Here is Deneau. On his backhand, just trying to keep everything simple. I'm sure his heart rate is up there quite a bit right now. Jeff Petrie, the smooth skating blue liner, in on the line, blasts the shot well wide of the mark. Rebound right to Marian Hossa, and here comes Brandon Saad with Taves. Wide open, Taves in there! Scores! So in on the line, blasts the shot well wide of the mark. Rebound right to Marian Hossa, and here comes Brandon Saad with Taves. Wide open, Taves in there! Scores! Patrick Maroon! 42nd goal of the season. And the Oilers lead 1-0 here in the first period.
Another turnover. Tyler Pitlick takes advantage.
Tyler Taves.
This is almost a goal read by Larson. He gets caught flat-footed, allows his man to go through, but what a play by Russell breaking it up. Quick transition game, and sometimes simpler is better. This is a simple play where you're looking for pass all the way, and instead of making the pass, the quick release gets under the arm of Elliott. For Elliott, a disappointing start. This one goes right underneath. He overplayed it to the outside, and it found room underneath the elbow.
Tyler Pitlick's been a 5-year scorer.
Slides it right through. When your defenseman rushes up the ice, one of your forwards
opening night lineup gets a goal.
And if no one's backing him up, the one thing you don't want to do is pick him up. And if no one's backing him up, the one thing you don't want to do is go for a figure skate around the other and see him get back.
Almost there for Hossa. So once again, the Oilers surrender the first goal. That has happened. On David a drive, looking for the tip of the inside from Taylor Hall. Saad and Hossa pick up the assist on Taves' 8th of the season. And the play is whistled down.
The difference is, and one of the things the Oilers have really struggled with is in between the pipes. You need a save. And yes, it's a breakaway. Yes, it's a great player coming in on you. But you need a save. Look at the other end. Your team's in there. Crawford in Chicago. And Crawford doesn't make 1 or 2. He has made 3 solid saves. And the last one, you're going to see a leg save here as he slides his left leg back across. Look how quick he got across that net. And that's the kind of goaltending you need when you're getting peppered. You go down with 1 chance and you're up 1-0.
Shots are 4-1 in favor of the Oilers. They're down to 1-0. Taves' 8th of the season.
And goes out of play.
You know, so much made about the new contract for Johnny Gaudreau. What a year he had last year with 30 goals, a career high. But this is what you have to be aware of. He's playing a defensive mode. As soon as he sees his team get an opportunity to get control of it, he's gone. And that'll be the challenge for the defense of the Edmonton Oilers, is to know when he's on the ice. So many times great players are left lost behind you. You start playing offense and you forget about the guy behind you.
And as coach said today, it's not cheating if he gets away with it.
Absolutely, you can do it.
When you're getting peppered.
Right up.
You go down.
6 minutes, 42 seconds.
Start last night against the New Jersey Devils. A good first period.
Value to a maximum value 5,724. 6 minutes, 40 seconds. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 24 seconds.
Scores! Loose
6 minutes, 20 6 minutes, 30 seconds. 6 minutes, 31 seconds. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 24
Shots
seconds.
are 4-1 in favor of the Oilers. They're down to 1-0.
7 minutes. 8 minutes now. 8 minutes, 20.
Second only to Toronto coming into action.
The other guy has to stop 4 seconds. 8 minutes, 5 seconds.
And the first period continues to be a disaster area for the Oilers. They are now minus 14 in goal differential. Worst in the league. That is the 24th first period goal they have surrendered. They came in second worst. Second only to Toronto coming into action tonight. So they dug themselves a hole here. Out in front is Hendricks. Minnesota puts it back to the line for Ferris, who moves it across the field. His wrist shot tipped wide of the mark. Picked up by Chalmerson. Floated to the middle of the ice, Bain down and sweeps it back in there. But that is icing against Edmonton.
Good solid hit by Deneau in center ice on Fane. We'll look at these two goals. They come fairly quickly, 5 minutes into the period. Nice pass, backhand pass by Saad to Taves, and he opens up the 5-hole on Scrivens, and then a 2-on-1 that led to out-battle in the corner. A 2-on-2, you get out-battled, and nobody picks up the danger guy sitting off the top of the circle, which was Kruger. And he didn't waste any time. By Saad to Taves, and he opens up the 5-hole on Scrivens, and then a 2-on-1 that led to out-battle in the corner. A 2-on-2, you get out-battled, and nobody picks up the danger guy sitting off the top of the circle, which was Kruger. And he didn't waste any time unloading that to the net.
2 goals in 55 seconds. Taves and Marcus Kruger. And the Chicago Blackhawks who are on the long road trip. And here's a look at the first period woes for the Oilers.
And it's the toughest thing. When you get off to a tough start in a period, it is extremely hard to get back going. And they haven't been scoring enough goals to be able to climb back into games that you're falling behind in. When you get off to a tough start in a period, it is extremely hard to get back going. And
9 minutes,
they
34
haven't been
seconds. 9
scoring
minutes,
enough goals
9
to
minutes,
be able to
36
climb back
seconds. 1
into
hour,
games that
35
you're falling
minutes,
behind in.
24 seconds.
Down and sweeps it back in there.
Back to the mid-80s as well between Edmonton and Calgary. You got one star on one end that's getting a lot of the attention. So what does the guy on the other side do? This is Johnny Gaudreau, and they're trying to make something out of nothing. He's got such an ability to put the puck into a safe area. Another common thread, keeping the legs moving and making something happen. 3 great moves that created a scoring chance out of basically no chance.
McDavid against Monahan again. And McDavid one.
Something happened. 3 great moves that created a scoring chance out of basically no chance.
See Slider. 9 minutes, 40 seconds of 1 hour.
Goes the ball, wrist shot into traffic. And Brandon Saad picks it up off the boards. His bank pass. Banks past Adam Clendenning, number 6 out there. That's the young man that you were talking about. He scored his first NHL goal on Thursday against the Calgary Flames on his first shot in the NHL.
It's one of those things when you look at the good teams in the National Hockey League, and certainly you class the Chicago Blackhawks there, is they take away your time and space extremely fast. They get on you fast, they turn over pucks, they're north-south moving so quickly. In their zone, they're on top of you. When you go into the Oilers zone, everyone's just a second or two off of getting to the puck quick fast there. Because they take away your time and space extremely fast. They get on you fast, they turn over pucks, they're north-south moving so quickly. In their zone, they're on top of you. When you go into the Oilers zone, everyone's just a second or two off of getting to the puck quick enough, and the good teams will take advantage of that.
Teddy Purcell batting at that puck, scored on Wednesday night against the Canucks. Wraparound attempt. Crawford was there on Taylor Hall. Purcell, another guy they need to start scoring here. That one is offside of the line. We'll take a break. 2-0 Chicago. Jumping on the Oilers early. You're watching Hockey Night in Canada.
Edmonton Oilers during the break, I mean, they're sitting on their bench. The coaches are trying to quietly figure out what they can do to help turn things around. But look at the body language of the players that are sitting there. Very little talking going on. The coaches are are keeping to themselves. I mean, this is a team that has struggled. This is a team that wants to do the right thing. They just cannot figure it out. And it's not from lack of effort and work. It's just they just cannot figure out the appropriate way to play to help themselves. And right now, just too many mistakes. And against a team like Chicago with 22 first-period goals, 24 now, not the team you want to have a slow start against.
Settle on the boards, tries to dig it free, but Chicago's got it. Seabrook lines and fires a slap shot that goes up and over the net and Hiram out of play.
You mentioned that the first period the other night against New Jersey was a very solid period for the Edmonton Oilers. In the third period, they were all over New Jersey as well, but Dallas Eakins was saying that they just lost their patience in the second period where 0-0 wasn't good enough. And they opened it up. They had some turnovers. They got a couple of goals scored on them. And then New Jersey are, they're just unbelievable at shutting you down once they get that lead. And Edmonton, for a 10-minute span in the second period, cost themselves a hockey game. And this is the part of the young learning that they have to do, that they got to stick with the game plan and be a little more patient.
Nugent Hopkins wins that draw against Brad Richards. He's now on a line with Patrick Kane and Chris Steed. A line that many thought he would be on the start of the season, and he was, but it was brief. And now the last couple of games, he has played quite well as Ben Scrimmons gets the Bronx cheer for stopping that one.
It's called save of the game.
Well, the big question will be answered at last. Who is Canada's smartest person? Tune into the series finale for 2 hours of family fun tomorrow night at 8 on CBC, Canada's smartest person.
Well, Richards had to catch up to the tempo of the Chicago Blackhawks. I think when he first got to Chicago, very different than where he was playing in New York. This is a very up-tempo, fast-paced team.
He has played quite well as Ben Scrimmons gets the Bronx cheer.
And that's deflected up into the net.
Stopping
Draws a crowd here behind the net.
And here's where one hit like that at one end brings a response at the other. And I mentioned Cassian because much ballyhooed in his young career is that inability to do it on an every night consistent basis. He's a big body. He's got to play physical if he wants to stay in the league. And so far, he better be careful here. He's going to be ending up with the only one in the penalty box.
Brandon Davidson didn't look like he was wanting to get...
He had to adjust
NHL
to that. I think practicing with the team, getting some reps in games. I think Brad Richards is probably skating as good as, I think Joel Quenneville said today, as good as he's seen him skate in the last few years. And I think he's getting better and better. Therefore, now, appropriate time to get him on that line and get him going.
Played career game number 1,000 last Sunday against one of his old teams, the Dallas Stars. He had 2 assists in that game, his 18th game with Chicago, and Joel Quenneville said it was his best game he's played for him this season, by far.
Loves this puck patience. It's one of the things he said this morning that he has, that he really didn't realize how good he was at the fact that he will take the puck and be very patient with it. He doesn't rush with it, and he makes good calculated plays. And this is a guy who scored some really big goals in really big games, and moving over here from New York, it's a big change. This is a whole different team and a whole different system they're playing.
Well, you're right. Even though he's played 1,000 games, he's got a lot going on, and it is adjustment for any player to move to a new team, especially this team. He's become a father recently. His wife, who's originally from Australia, has to find a new doctor, deliver the baby, all that stuff. But it's all behind him now. And
all that fun stuff when you're a player.
Yeah.
You go play every night, and your poor wife has to take care of the rest.
Here's Kane now. Kane shoots, hits the post as it was redirected on the way in. And a penalty call coming up here, and it's against deliver the baby, all that stuff. But it's all behind him now.
All that fun stuff when you're a player.
Yeah. That's right. That's one penalty. Doesn't see a corner. Caves in behind the net. Caves it down, pumped into the corner. Harris is down there as well. Scored 3 out in front of the net. Shoveled to the line and out by Kane.
I will say this for Ben Scrimmons in his defense. Both those chances are grade A quality scoring chances. A breakaway with one of the better players in the league and a guy point blank in his slot. But at the same time, when your team needs you to make a save, you got to make a save, at least one of those.
Duncan P trying to hold the line. He'll have to back up. And he goes across to Seabrook. Seabrook, one of the Western Canadian boys in this Chicago lineup. He'll be near his hometown. tomorrow night as the Blackhawks are playing the Canucks. Here's Adam Clendenning, starts up the ice.
They love coming on this Canadian swing. A lot of them have families and friends out here that they don't see in a long time, and they're excited about coming to Canada to play.
Bickle. Reaching well, puck banks it. Tried to get it to the line for Richards, and instead it's sent down by the captain, Andrew Ference.
Good job by the Oilers penalty killers, making sure that once you get a hold of that puck, it's a 200-foot clear. Get it down, make Chicago go all the way back and get it. Nice read by Nugent Hopkins right there.
Edmonton's penalty kill was perfect last night. 2 for 2 against the Devils. Here's a turnover right to Mauricio, and it bounced off of his stick. Clendenning back defensively, put it in the corner, but Nugent Hopkins takes a little more time off the clock. 3 seconds remaining in the only penalty. He steps out of the box now. Here's Big Bickle. Ryan Bickle, one hand on his stick, gets it to Richards. No help available, but he puts it back into the corner for Hossa. Hossa up top. There's Hjalmarsson with a drive. That hits Mauricio. They try to center it, and it comes back to Nicholas Hjalmarsson. Richards waiting behind the net to side. Deflected up and over his stick, and Chicago turns it over to Draisaitl. Leon Draisaitl looking for late help, was looking to get it to Purcell, and he was going to stop it up past the center. It was broken up.
Just like the pass right on him, the Oilers.
Petrie with a blast. Hall corrals the puck. Oduya takes it away from him. Draisaitl was there as well, and here is Hjalmarsson. He'll put this one out to center ice. Ollie reaches up. Big tall reach it is, 6'6". He's punished on the inboards. There's Purcell, and it is contained there by Corey Crawford, who hangs on. 8:47 to go here in the first. 2-0 Hawks on Hockey Night at Canada.
Back Gary and Dave referenced the fact the Edmonton Oilers are without Benoit Pouliot. He blocked a shot in the second period last night, and he went straight to the bench and eventually for x-rays, and by the time the second intermission was nearly complete, news that he was out 5 to 6 weeks. Now these are the skate protectors. Only 2 Oilers, Jeff Petrie and Keith Ollie, wear them. And despite the Benoit Pouliot injury, Dallas Eakins says while it was unfortunate, he still wants his players to continue blocking shots.
Yeah, they won't stop that anytime soon. It is a hazard of the business. Did you ever have one of those skate things on your...
I never had a skate thing, but I've had my foot broken, a slap shot just like that.
Who took it?
A guy in Quebec by the name of Tataranoff. He had a bullet, and he was dumping it into the zone, and I was skating backwards, and it was right on the... To adjust to that, and I think practicing with the team, getting some reps in games, I think blue line Richards is probably
really having an impact on the game. The Edmonton Oilers are trying to play. They want to play a flow game. They want to be moving all the time. They want to be using speed coming through that neutral zone. But the Sabres are in the lanes. They're making it very difficult.
Career game number 1,000 last Sunday.
And the Edmonton Oilers, when they're hitting the Sabres blue line, no speed, or they're just one-on-one.
So he's playing a nice job.
He has played quite well.
NHL October 16/2016 Buffalo Sabres Edmonton.
The center icing it is brought to the Buffalo line and over. That's another offside. And the shot was taken after the whistle went, and
0% vertical
Sabres are taking some resentment of that to Lucic. And Rasmus missed the line and right in there.
Next keep flipped.
This is what you like to see. That's the game Rasmus needs to play.
16
Sabres on a 3-on-1 here.
19 minutes,
Not
11
able to
seconds of 1
capitalize.
hour.
The turnover in the zone. You see.
Heading 19 minutes, 19 minutes, 9.
Side, Ollie, no lane to shoot, banks it up to Everly. He put it out in front, and that is broken up. Joachim Nordstrom, another one of the recent call-ups from Rockford. Chicago was out Patrick Sharp right now. He is out with a leg injury that he suffered against the Montreal Canadiens in early November.
Well, Pouliot, I don't think he's off to a amazing start here in Edmonton by any means. I think they expected more from him, but at the same time, he's a big body, he's a veteran player, and a veteran presence, and they will miss him, as he is not in the lineup and will not be, as Gene said, for the next 6 weeks, and everybody shifts around, and Perron moves up, and here's a guy who they could use to score.
1 goal for David Perron, November 1st against the Vancouver Canucks. 28 goals to lead the team last season.
And he was the most vocal of all the Oilers after the loss the other night. I mean, he was upset emotionally. He was fed up, and you could just tell he wasn't a happy guy.
Here comes Taves trying to dance around Fane, and he lost control of the puck. But they keep it in the corner. Back to the line for Brent Seabrook. Seabrook down low. There is Hossa. Hossa, who by his standards is off to a slow start. And Seabrook over to Duncan Keith. But just under 27 minutes on Thursday, his blast almost bounced dangerously out in front for Chicago. No Andrew Shaw on the lineup either for the Blackhawks. Guy scored 4 goals against Edmonton last season. Here's Pinizzano, loose puck, and that is chopped away by Duncan Keith. Here comes Son at center. Steps in and steps into by Jeff Petrie. Good solid hit there. Matt Henricks now. Flips it in there for Pinizzano. Pinizzano around the edge, centers it back for Nugent Hopkins. His blast, Pinizzano the rebound, and Henricks is there as well. Pinizzano's stick broke there. Nugent keeps it in. Puck on edge as he laid into that one, and it goes back out to center for Jordan Eberle.
Connor McDavid.
Eberle can't get it past.
Russell.
Resets with Michael Wolfson.
Connor McDavid.
The veteran with a long stretch pass up to Christopher Steve, the Lethbridge Alberta Warriors. Lake Jr. also in Lethbridge and in nearby Red Deer.
Kind of a home game to get in front of those long stretch passes Chicago makes. They just get them 3 zones up the ice and into your zone way too fast.
Here's David Perron now. Passes a little bit behind him, goes in behind the net. Cycles it back for Nugent Hopkins and Eberle. Now R&H. Try to get it to Eberle. Back to the line for Ferris. Pass just out of the reach of Fane, so he just sticks it around the boards. Here's Jordan Eberle again. Eberle being watched there by Ben Smith, and Chicago comes away. Smith goes back and forth with Kruger, who's got the second Chicago goal, and Scrimmage will hang on to that one for the faceoff when we come back to Rexall Place. Petrie laying down the wall on side.
The Oilers.
It was 9:30 a.m. this morning when Dallas Eakins decided that the team would hit the ice, and in about 15 minutes into their morning skate, it was the coach with the general manager in the stands that did all of the talking. And once Dallas Eakins was finished, you don't often see this, but one by one the players just left the ice. Now Eakins jokingly said that he wouldn't tell people what he said. They'd have to wait for his book, and we'll have to see what chapter the Oilers write tonight.
He's always quotable, that's for sure, Gary.
And now as coach, they need goals.
Clendening now drifts one into traffic that hits a body in front. Adam Clendening from Niagara Falls, New York. His parents are here tonight.
The school at Boston U. A good friend of mine, Buddy Tyler, who's an assistant coach there. We were chatting about him this morning. He scored his goal, and he had a text there waiting from his own coach. And again, it's, all the talk in the world is when you're losing, you have meetings about the next meeting, and here's a look at Clendening.
105 points the last 2 seasons with Rockford. This guy can pile up the points for sure. He told me this morning that was the best one-timer he's ever had. He didn't even feel him leave the stick as he hammered it past Jonas Hiller for his first NHL goal.
Heck of a saucer by Marian Hossa. It landed, it landed on impact. I asked him, how close was that when it landed? He goes, maybe a couple of inches on the ice.
Here's Philip Deneau in his first NHL game. Trying to spin away from some pressure, given a shove by the 19-year-old Leon Draisaitl. Here's Bickle, wraparound, throws it in front, and it's pushed in behind the net where it's scooped up by Hall. To the line, not out. Chicago will change, and that'll give Edmonton a chance to get this out of their own zone here. 4.5 minutes to go. Shots are 4-4. Seabrook chops that along the boards. Hall got a little stick check there on Seabrook, but Chicago has the puck. And they've got it to you-know-who. Taves trying to go across the side. And it goes into the corner. There's Hossa out in front. Ends up with Seabrook. Shoots! Scores! On Seabrook, but Chicago has the puck. And they've got it to you-know-who. Taves trying to go across the side. And it goes into the corner. Here's Hossa out in front. Ends up with Seabrook. And they've got it to you-know-who. Taves trying to go across the side. And it goes into the corner. Here's Hossa out in front. Ends up with Seabrook. Shoots. Scores.
Here, I can't see whether or not it'd be good.
Veteran blue line.
And this is a very fragile state that you're in. It's a very fragile state that you're in. And you said it to me in the break, Dave. They could get a goal. They're right there.
Nugent Hopkins tried to center it out to Perron. Yeah, the old 2-goal game. I mean, you make it 2-1 in this game on, but 3-goal lead is a different story against this team.
Now you've given up that third one, and it's going to be tough climbing now.
Against one of the top goals against teams in the NHL. They allowed just over 2 a game.
2 years they won the Stanley Cup. They were first and fifth in the league in goals against. The years they won it. Right now they're sitting in second with 2.05 goals against per game, which is pretty good.
Chicago back to work. There's another one-timer there by Clendening. Here's Kruger now. Digs it out of the corner, spins it back. Ben Smith waits for it. Smith trying to dance away from his check. Up Keith Ollie. Rolls the ball. Back into the corner they go. Smith hit there by Ollie. Boyd Gordon down low as well against Kruger. And it's Gordon who takes it free and shovels it down the ice.
I can't imagine how worn out you are just psychologically, mentally from everything that's going on here, and the fact that you want to win games, you want to play good, and when you're not, it's just you don't leave it at the rink. You take it home with you. You think about it all the time. And it's tough. I've been in this situation before as a player. It's not a fun thing to be in.
Jesse Joensuu trips up Dano there. Joensuu back in the lineup after sitting out a couple. Healthy scratch the last 2. Here's Dano. He passes in his skate. Good kick save there by Scrivens on the redirect right in front. Seabrook back to get it. Brent Seabrook now his 6th goal of the season. He had 7 all last season. Here comes Saad now. Saad has a puck poked away from him, and Taves follows up. Jonathan Taves trying to center it, and he doesn't get it over the sprawling Taylor Hall. Off the window and out to center ice.
He's flying. Jonathan Taves absolutely flying.
Purcell breaks that up, feeds Hall, and back defensively are the Hawks. Jorgensen in Awaduya. Here's Hall now. Tries to get out of the Purcell shoots. Crawford makes the save and covers up the rebound. Well, the big question will be answered at last. Who is Canada's smartest person? Tune into the series finale. 2 hours of family fun tomorrow night at 8, right here on CBC.
3 goals at 6 shots. And I'll tell you what, it could have been 4 if not for this save by Ben Scrivens. All over the Oilers in their zone. Slow to get to the puck. That leaves pretty good chances. And then Hall gets away with an interference penalty on Aduya, and that sets up a point-blank shot right in the high slot. Crawford makes the save. No rebound.
Purcell shoots. Crawford makes the save.
Buffalo ends up with a power play in any event. Double minor to Edmonton's driver and a single to Jake McKay.
Sabres on the power play here tonight. 1 for 2, generating 2 shots. But you just see that's a very dangerous hit. You step up, yeah, you're going to try to throw the shoulder and make contact, but all of a sudden when you turn the knee or stick the leg out in any way, shape, or form, it becomes very dangerous for the guy that is being hit.
Over 4 minutes into this third period.
In any way, shape, or form, it becomes very dangerous for the guy that is being hit.
And I'll tell you what, it could have been 4 if not for this point-blank. And then Hall gets away with an interference. Slow to get to this.
Nights Thursday against the Flames. And we're now to the final minute of this opening 20. Nordstrom in there against Justin Schultz. Puck comes free for Chicago. Quick shot, and Scrivens got a piece of that on Kruger, almost from the same spot he scored from earlier tonight. Eberle gets it away to Schultz and receives a return feed. Everly working against Jalmerson, who steers that one into the corner, and it comes up the boards. Penalty call coming up here.
Jordan Everly, and he's not happy about it. And, he may have an argument. We'll have a look at it here as he gets tangled up with Jalmerson and to the right of Crawford, and it really at first glance the penalty, you're not really sure which way it was going, and whose hands are hooked into whose. And I think it's a kind of a call that sometimes you just got to let it go. Two players are jockeying for position. Their gloves and sticks get all cut up. I think you got to just think that's a good battle going to get whose. Glance the penalty, you're not really sure which way it was going, and whose hands are hooked into whose. And I think it's a kind of a call that sometimes you just got to let it go. Two players are jockeying for position. Their gloves and sticks get all cut up. I think you got to just think that's a good battle going to get the puck. But unfortunately, taking a penalty with 29.9 seconds to go and already being down 3-0.
Good face-off win, and it's sent down the ice. Second power play attempt for Chicago tonight.
One good thing they did do in this period, the Oilers, was they had a really solid penalty kill against the Blackhawks early in the period.
2 shots for Chicago on their first power play attempt. Here comes Kane. Kane scored the game winner against the Flames. Seabrook now takes the look, fires it right on, and Scrivens makes the save.
When you get behind, it's just a scratching and clawing. It takes so much energy to get back into it, and here you look at how often the Edmonton Oilers have been falling in behind, and it takes 3 times as much energy to get back into games. And you look at one of the teams this year in the National Hockey League, Montreal Canadiens.
Takes the look, fires it right on, and Scrivens
A very interesting and catastrophic almost, I should say. Power play and penalty kill. Great chance for Ben Lapoya. Shortly after that, we have Jordan Stahl coming in. Hits the outside of the net, short-handed. And then once again,
to get back into it, and here you look at how often the Edmonton Oilers have been falling in behind. And
Kane, one last shot.
31 minutes, 32 seconds of 1 hour 35. 31 minutes, 37.
12 shots total so far
NHL
in this period. That is 13:33 left to go in the
National Hockey League. Montreal
NHL October 2016.
Kane, one last shot, and one last shot blocked for Edmonton.
And the period comes to an end. So a great start for the Edmonton.
Different goal scores for the Chicago Blackhawks against Ben Scrivens. 40 seconds in the locker room to refocus and regroup. 3-0 Chicago on Hockey Night in Canada. Welcome back to Edmonton. Almost at the start of the second period here. It is 3-0 in Chicago. About 3 hours before face-off time, you got Joel Quenneville arriving with assistant coach Kevin Dineen for work.
Well, the two of them know each other very, very well. Best of
all the time.
And won the gold medal at the Olympics, and now the two with the Florida Panthers, and did a great job with the women's program winning the gold medal at the Olympics, and now the two buddies are back together again.
Great story, Gary, and I think it's just awesome that you bring your hockey cards on the road with you all the time. Great.
I don't think I had a hockey card back then.
So the second period begins, and Oilers fans out there want to see how this team responds after a very shaky first period. Duncan Keith has the puck in his own zone on the fresh ice, and he starts up. Near side feed for Tage. Keith keeps that in, gets it to Chris Versteeg. Versteeg chops it off the board. Penalty call coming up here to the Oilers right away. As that shot goes wide, Crawford makes a long skate to the bench. Versteeg chops it off the board. Penalty call.
The penalties.
A Chicago power.
Back into this game as they continue to waste time taking penalties. Both these teams are fairly disciplined.
Jonathan Taves, 24 seconds in the period, and it's 1-0. The Hawks tied at 1.
Everly still in the box.
Discipline to get back into this game as they continue to waste time taking penalties. Both these teams are fairly disciplined teams. They rank second and third in the National Hockey League in least amount of penalties, so they don't take a lot. Tonight, Edmonton, the first 3.
Everly still in the box, so this is a 5-on-3 for 40 seconds. Back to the line for Keith. Told you that Chicago's power play on the road, dangerous for Steve. Goes and busts. A 5-on-3
tonight, Edmonton.
seconds. Back to the line for Keith. Told you that 40 seconds. Back to the line for Keith. Told you that Chicago's power play on the road, dangerous for Steve. Goes across to Hossa. Hossa to Duncan Keith. Taves parked in front. Here's Rashid. Centers it and Scrivens battled down. Taves parked in front. Here's Rashid. Centers it and Scrivens makes the save and
Nicholas Tomerson. It's a 2-1 Chicago.
Touched up and it's wide.
Edmonton Oilers are disciplined teams, and there you see losing Hopkins on the arms of Versteeg. They rank second and third in the National Hockey League in the least amount of penalties, so they don't take a lot. And tonight, Edmonton, the first three.
Everly's still in the box, so this is a 5-on-3 for 40 seconds. Back to the line for Keith. Told you that Chicago's power play
In the least amount of penalties, so they don't take a lot. And tonight, Edmonton, the first three.
Everly's still in the box, so this is a 5.
They eventually just kick all the
David Cross.
These see the team for because Chicago.
The puck stayed loose, and gentlemen, the corner quickly across for Steve White. Stopped at Scrivens, rebound, scores. The David Cross made win back to Duncan Keith, and here is Hossa. They'll put it in the corner quickly across for Steve White. Stopped at Keith, and here is Hossa. They'll put it in the corner quickly across for Steve White. Stopped at Scrivens, rebound, scores. The David Cross made the save goal.
The Chicago get it back. He blocked the net. The first part with part of the possession all the time, and with there of Scrivens and 5 on now Steaks that back into the net. But you just can't with 5-on-3s. Tough enough.
2 goals in this period, 25 seconds.
And it's still a power play for another minute.
2-1 for the Hawks.
There by Saad and stopped by Scrivens. Taves with a second tonight, his second 2-goal game of this young season, and it's 4-0. Also, stopped by Scrivens. Taves with a second tonight, his second 2-goal game of this young season, and it's 4-0. Also, in the 2-goal game of this young Scrivens, Taves with his second tonight, his second 2-goal game of this young season, and it's 4-0. Also, strips the puck inside, heads back, pick up, open, shoots, and he goes to the glove side. And it's all the way back to Clendening. Goes to Richards, back up top to Adam Clendening. There's a shot from Hossa, back to Clendening, takes a look, slap pass, ends up in the corner for Saad. Now it's near side for Brad Richards. Richards feeds it back to Hossa. Into the corner, with it now is Saad. He's surrounded, but he puts it back in deep. Bickle parks right in front. Centering attempt off a skate to Saad. Up top for Clendening. 24 seconds to go in the Chicago power play. Also picks that away from Marincin. Some tired penalty killers on the ice right now for Edmonton. Richards looking for the tip from Saad, and he couldn't finish on the business out. Also picks that away from Marincin. Some tired penalty killers on the ice right now for Edmonton. Richards looking for the tip from Saad, and he couldn't finish on the business end of that. Saad out of the corner, goes to Clendening. Clendening shoots, scores a save, rebound, scores, and this Edmonton. Richards looking for the tip from Saad, and he couldn't finish on the business end of that. Saad out of the corner, goes to Clendening. Clendening shoots. Saad out of the corner, goes to Clendening. Clendening shoots, scores a save, and he couldn't finish on the business end of that. Rain period, Blackhawks goal. First full battle for that puck around the blue line there. Trying to get it out of the zone, and it comes to center ice. Here's Hall. Trying to make something happen, anything. Up for Taylor Hall, tipped into the Chicago zone. Crawford out of his net, sweeps it to Dormerson, and they're away. Taves bank pass up the side. Saad will drop it off. Here's Dan Carcillo, sweeps that in front. Taves at a stick tied up. Keith scores! Crawford out of his net, sweeps it to Dormerson, and they're away. Taves bank pass up the side. Saad will drop it off. Here's Taves, bank pass up to Saad. Saad will drop it off. Here's Dan Carcillo, sweeps that in front. Taves at a stick tied up. Robinson, and they're away. Tip to the
So when he's all by himself, he's open.
In 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Taves sweeps this one down the ice. In there on Baack. And you can tell by the crowd that moved the Oilers off the ice last night, and now they're leaning on both of their goaltenders here tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Canada Post.
People try to look at the Edmonton Oilers and think that things have gotten a bit better, and the record certainly isn't indicative of that, as they're pretty close when you look at 20 games last year and where they're sitting right now. And the goaltending, I think, has kind of been the same as well. The save percentage are almost mirroring each other. So we're going to that and think that things have gotten a bit better, and the record certainly isn't indicative of that, as they're pretty close when you look at 20 games last year and where they're sitting right now. And the goaltending, I think, has kind of been the same as well. The save percentage are almost mirroring each other. So where they were 4 wins after 20 games last year, they're going to be 6 wins after 20 this year. So it's not like there's a whole lot of improvement that you can really grab onto if you're an Oilers fan.
There on the forecheck, bumps Petrie, tries to get tangled up with the young Philip Deneau, the former Victoriaville junior and Moncton, but he's from Victoriaville, former captain there. Here's Arcabello now, tries to center it out in front, ends up with a point for Olive. Olive with a slap shot off a stick. Arcabello out of the corner. In back for Jesse Joensuu. Joensuu knocked off the puck, rolls the ball to the line, kept in. All in his back end, puts it back in there. And it's cleared. Back up the center ice, here's Carcillo. Carcillo snaps his shot, and you're right, he scored a real nice one on Thursday night against the Flames. This is Carcillo's second stint with the Chicago Blackhawks. Johnny Oduya. Now over 600 games played for Oduya, settling in 10 for Richards. Got into traffic, but he's got the puck back. For Steve with his back to the net, couldn't turn and get a shot away. Justin Schultz, up to Hall. All inside the line, drops it for Schultz, gets to his legs and picked up by Versteeg. Long quick pass to Patrick Kane. Kane back to Versteeg, they got Richards up there, circling around as well. Richards out of the corner with Kane in front. Here's Versteeg. Stick is tied up before he can release the shot. Now Ferentz gets that one away to Leon Draisaitl. Near side for Purcell. Off of the inboards, and now Nordstrom with a head of steam at center ice. There the back check is Ferentz, who takes the puck away from him.
Their exits are so clean in Chicago. I mean, there's just no resistance from the Edmonton Oilers. It's on the stick, 2 passes, and they're flowing through the neutral zone.
Icing waved off on that play. 7 minutes into the second period here. 6 goals on 15 shots.
2 goals.
Everly now on his horse down the left side. Tries to swing around. Seagull got the shot away from a sharp angle. And Crawford stops it and hangs off. Nielsen. Chicago having their way in Edmonton tonight.
As a 2-1 hockey.
Well, Leo Yakupov, who took a stick in the mouth towards the end of the New Jersey game last night, playing with the Shield tonight, takes a little whack on the back of the legs, and when you're losing 6-0 and someone does that to you, you got to show some ugly, and he does that as Clendening actually makes the play with his left foot. Good sharp play by the young defenseman in only his 2nd National Hockey League game, and there you see Yakupov, who got quite a few sutures on the chin.
Javitsky did a lot of damage last night.
Yeah, blocked, he broke Pouliot's foot, and then out of nowhere he whacks Yakupov in the face off the face-off when the puck wasn't even near them. One-man wrecking crew.
Edmonton had an offensive zone face-off there moments ago, but here they are back in their own zone, chasing the puck that is just up and out there.
One-man wrecking crew.
Edmonton had an offensive zone face-off there moments ago, but here they are back in their own zone, chasing the puck that is just up and out of play.
You know, one of the things Chicago is going to have a tough time with, they got Kane and Taves. They suck up about $21 million on the cap. and the other 15 guys about $65 million. So you still got to fill 6 roster spots into next year's cap, and that's going to be a trouble. And Joel Quenneville knows that his players realize that now is the time, because if you don't win with this group now, there's going to be a lot of changes next year. Leddy was just one of the changes they had to make in order to, to get underneath the cap and start to make room. And they didn't want to let him go. They had no choice. But next year, it'll even be harder. So now's the time to win. He said the last time they won the cup, they realized that as well.
They were 1 game away from getting to the Stanley Cup final last season. And another penalty call coming up here. It's going to be a slack.
Realized that as well.
They were 1 game away from getting to the Stanley Cup final last season. And another penalty. They were 1 game away from getting to the Stanley Cup final last season. Another penalty call coming up here. Will celebrate the sport. It's got to go.
I know when you whack a guy's stick if it breaks, you got to pedal it, right? Because you broke his stick. Just know when you whack a guy's stick, if it breaks, you got to pedal it, right? Because you broke his stick. His stick didn't break.
He just whacked it out of his hand. Again, I guess it's a penalty because he whacks him, but I just think that
on CDC.
I know when you whack a guy's stick, if it breaks, you got to pedal it, right? Because you broke his stick. His stick didn't break. He just whacked it out of his hand. Again, I guess it's a penalty because he whacks him, but I just think sometimes there's just some good battling going on. And
he was 20 minutes in the lead, and then in the play here tonight, Chicago's 2 for 3. Of course, they had a 5-on-3 to start this second period. 7 shots in their power play opportunities so far. Here's Seaborn. He's got a goal tonight. Jonathan Taves, he's got a couple. And Keith just picked his second goal right there. Sent down the ice. Duncan Keith in his 10th year. Gets it to Seabrook. Ian Seabrook has 20 in all-time games played in Blackhawk history. Seabrook just played his 700th game.
What a pairing they are, too. They just complement one another so much. If you ask Duncan Keith, he'll tell you how important Seabrook is to his game, and Seabrook, of course, in the NHL and scoring. Top draw
4 game winners.
History of Chicago Blackhawks here. They've got a few beauties.
Both of them had 4 game winners each last year in the playoffs. 44 seconds to go, this 4th power play attempt for the Blackhawks. Hossa snaps it in there. Hossa is on the score sheet tonight. Recently quoted saying, I can't remember a slower start to any season I've ever played in the NHL. Again, those are his standards. Here's Richards now. Wines takes a look, shot right on, and the rebound goes into the corner. Saad puts it back behind the Oiler net. And the veteran Boyd Gordon flips this one down the ice. Back for is Adam Clendening. Clendening, a second-round pick from the 2011 draft. And what a draft year it's turning out to be for Chicago.
Nickel took that one off the laces and Brown was trying to shake it off of the bench. You're going to feel that one.
Jalmerson corrals the puck, snaps it into traffic, goes in behind the net. Here's Kruger. Another one of the goal scorers for Chicago tonight. Power play is over. Purcell now has it. Vinny Purcell. Purcell just 3 goals so far. This is first season as an Oiler. Keith Ollie leans into his man. And O'Deal comes over to Halifax. So is Kruger. And some light as Ollie rounded the boards. The one thing that happens when you get up 6-0 is sometimes you let your guard down a little bit. You got to remember, the team you're thrashing is 6-0. We're getting awful upset. And we're not going to try to level spin.
Well, here's a look at the two combatants. And
dismissed from
good on Kruger to stick up for his teammate who took a pretty hard tug here. Ojeda gives Smith a pass, and again, as he receives the pass and unloads it, Ojeda's upset because Ollie tracked it coming across, and boy, you saw the velocity of that hit when he drove into the wall. And Kruger were on top of Ollie right away. And 2 minutes and 4 minutes, so the Edmonton Oilers will get on a power play here. There's the first power play. They spent a lot of the night in the box. As Carcillo will serve the extra 2 for Kruger coming in.
So a chance here to get some life and to get on the scoreboard. They are 25th overall, 21st at home with a man advantage. They went 0 for 4 last night.
I think you just got to, like, Ollie's hit, play with some edge.
Yeah.
Play with some ugliness. Like, you're not going to win this hockey game, so at least you can bite back a little bit. Show you got some bite in you. And I think that's going to go a long way here. But if you just keep sitting back and taking and receiving, it's going to get worse.
Gordon out there to take the draw, wins it back to the line. Here's Hall off the half boards, puts it in there, and providing the screen was Gordon, but Crawford made the stop.
One of the stories tonight, we almost forgot about it, was,
Here's Hall. Gordon puts it in there, and providing the screen was Gordon, but Crawford made the stop.
One of the stories tonight, we almost forgot about it, was, with Ransom not playing tonight. And his first game in a month. He hadn't played in a month, and you look at, that's a long time for going out to play. So he had to be really sick not to come in tonight. And also not having to have his buddy go. I almost forgot about it, was Ransom not playing tonight. And his first game in a month. He hadn't played in a month, and you look at, that's a long time for going out to play. So he had to be really sick not to come in tonight. And also not having to have his buddy Crawford go in and play on a night he was supposed to get off.
Going to get Crawford instead of Ronson. There's a blast up high, and a glove save by Crawford. Knocked it down, but wasn't able to hang on to it. Save. Perfect. Trying to dig it free. Dry settled there as well. Donaldson finds some open ice and brings this one down the ice.
In that month, you have to understand, Darling came up. Remember the Chicago native who came in and played so well. Got his first win in Chicago. We were there for that game. And he took 3 games in that month, too. So, and the Blackhawks haven't played a lot of back-to-back games, so you're not going to get runs in very often. So tonight was one of those nights.
Here comes for Steve. Back the other way, short-handed. Steve aside there by Fox. Edmonton turned to the short-hander on Wednesday against the Canucks, and they allowed a one-handed breakaway last night against the Devils. Here's Hall trying to get out in front. Back into the corner it goes for Steve. Takes it free off the skate of Saad and back out to center.
The best penalty-killing units in the National Hockey League are right here in the Chicago Blackhawks dressing room. They did allow a couple against Calgary the other night, which is a real oddity this year so far. They're up around 90%.
First in the NHL. Third on the road, and you're right. 2 power play goals against Thursday night. That's the first time they've had it all season. Now here comes the chance, short-handed again, racing away. Wants to peel off, and Smith was tied up and couldn't get a shot away. And now here comes Perron with 20 seconds to go in the power play. Stepping in over the line, backhand drive by Yakupov, and that's handled by Crawford. Nugent Hopkins to Petrie. Petrie into the corner, Yakupov puts it back to Nugent Hopkins. Shoots in. Crawford got a piece of that. Everett. Perron in the corner. Will Steve now. As the penalty is over, and it's still 6-0.
Power play for the Edmonton Oilers have really struggled of late. And this power play really wasn't that bad compared to some of the ones we've seen in the last games, especially 4 power plays, including a 5-on-3, and they didn't even get a shot on net the other night versus New Jersey. So when you look at tonight's power play, not bad. It's got to get you some positive feelings when it's done.
Now Hendricks takes the shot. The play is whistled down. We've got another penalty call coming up here.
2 number 13s. We're having some words coming through the neutral zone. Pinizzato and Carcillo. And Carcillo might have taken advantage, Pinizzato, as he got him to drop his gloves. And once his gloves hit the ice, that's an automatic unsportsmanlike conduct. And right, you watch him coming up through the neutral zone. He turns around. And again, why would Carcillo want to take on this fight in a 6-0 hockey game? He's like, buddy, I'm not going to take this fight on. Why would I? And we witnessed one of those the other night in Montreal with Ronaldo and Prust, the 3-0 game. And that's a smart play. Carcillo knows better.
So 5th power play attempt now for the Blackhawks.
2 Carcillo might have told. Number plays with teams. 2 Carcillo might have told. 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 2 Carcillo might have told
We got another penalty call coming up.
Feelings when it's done.
Matt Hendricks.
Scores! Takes the Blackhawks a 4-1 lead here in the second period.
Takes his fight on why would I? Witnessed one of those in the night in Montreal. Takes his fight on why would I? He's like, buddy, I'm not going to take this fight on why would I? And we witnessed one of those in the night in Montreal with Ronaldo and Crusty in a 3-0 game. And that's a smart play. Pursuing those better.
So big power play attempt now for the Blackhawks as this one's hammered down the length of the ice. Against Derek Dorset here on Wednesday, his first game with the Oilers this season. And Cody Howe hat-trick that night. Here is Duncan Keith. Keith has that swept away from his stick. Following up is Patrick Kane. Kane backs her off the boards over Steve. Now the boards he goes. That's met by Marincin. High along the glass. Kept in there by Seabrook. Quickly across the beat to get it back to Brent Seabrook. Richards looking around. Gets the beat from Kane. Back to the line for Seabrook. Snaps a shot. And that rebounds all the way back out to center and beyond. Back in towards Corey Crawford.
What nice movement between Seabrook and Keith. They get into the zone, they establish the puck, and it's two full-length blue lines, D to D, that opens up all the lanes for the Blackhawks, and then they attack you. So you're mental for good patience. That coaches love having them on their team.
As the puck stripped, and it's turned right back by Nugent Hopkins there. Nugent Hopkins got the cutting, got a backhander in there on Crawford, who was ready for that. Here's Carcillo now. Carcillo, who played for both teams and ended up in the Stanley Cup final last season. Ended off with the Rangers, did not play in the final, did play in the playoffs against Fulham. But not in the Stanley Cup final against the Kings. So the power play is over. It's still a 6-0 game. 5 minutes to go here in the second period. There's Holtz. Can't corral the puck. Right side. Rich sets in the back end and gets it back. Bounces off his stick. And they'll try again.
Holtz is one of those guys that every year he's up there in the top of the league in takeaways. He's a great skip. He takes away the puck. Good defensive play.
Postal snapshot. Save made by Crawford. Rolls the ball down that one, and he pays for it a little bit. Leads it by Hall. Turns it over. Hall in there. Rebound. Crawford with a post just broke it up, and they never really got a good shot. And now there's a penalty call coming up there. Win at Hall. Ben Smith. Corralled by back to Hall. Hall trying to get it back to Schultz, and here comes Ben Smith. Puck was bouncing on him, so he just shovels that one into the Edmonton end.
You know, look at why the Blackhawks are such good penalty killers. They take away your time quickly.
Taylor Hall missed 6 games with a sprained right knee that he suffered in a game here on a Saturday night. UHBO against the Vancouver Canucks.
Driving to the net there, and Tanev just caught a piece of his shoulder, his hip, chipped his shoulder and threw him off balance, and he hit that post hard. I think he's really fortunate. That's all it was. It looked a lot like Stamkos going to the post.
Yakupov got that back to the line, and they control it. Perron goes across to Petrie. Petrie's one-timer blocked in front there by Smith. Check that. Yeah, that was Ben Smith with a shot block. Back to the line it goes. Going to get a sit-down is Petrie. Here's David Perron. Taken away by Seabrook. Again, Petrie holds the line. Backs a pass to Nail Yakupov. Yakupov snaps a shot, and Crawford, despite being screened there by Perron, makes a good stop. Nugent Hopkins in the corner. 30 seconds to go in the Oilers' power play. Puck is in front of the net, and they can't get a good shot away. And Altuve goes to rest.
Anything that's on that dasher board, which is the yellow, 8-10 inches of yellow that runs along the bottom, anything that gets along that dasher board is green light to apply pressure to the Blackhawks.
Nugent Hopkins waited a beat too long at the puck strip, and Brandon Saad races back the other way. Got Nordstrom with him. Nordstrom in there. Stopped by Fox. Comes across and makes the save. Good short-handed rush there for the Blackhawks. Here's Eberle. Angled off by Donaldson. Stays with the play. In behind the net. Down the corner. Hall down low there with Jordan Eberle. Goes back to Fane. Fane moves it across and it bounces over the stick of Ferris, and the Oilers got to clear the zone.
I think there's a point where you lose a puck like that to a Ferris. Just try to keep possession of it. Take it back, give it to your partner, because you're giving the Blackhawks possession right away.
Now the Blackhawks have iced the puck. Gives us a chance to tell you about the 5th annual RBC Sports Day in Canada. Communities across our nation will celebrate the power of sports. Scott Russell quarterbacks the broadcast next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern on CBC.
Got some really good penalty killers, and when they turn the puck over, they are off to the races. They'll go to your net off the quick, and Nordstrom tries to deke out Fox and a little leg save.
Scott Russell quarterbacks the broadcast next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern on CBC.
Got some really good possession right now. Take it back, give it to your partner, because you're giving the Blackhawks possession right away.
Now the Blackhawks have iced the puck. Gives us a chance to tell you about the 5th annual RBC Sports Day in Canada. Communities across our nation will celebrate the power of sports. Scott Russell quarterbacks the broadcast next Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern on CBC.
Got some really good penalty killers. When they turn the puck over, they are off to the races. They'll go to your net off the quick, and Nordstrom tries to deke out Fox and a little leg save.
Patrick Kane, right side, step, but the Oilers are back in support. Hendricks moves it up to Steve Pinizzotto. Pinizzotto bumps into his man Glendening, who actually won the puck battle and moves it up the boards. There's Rosenbaum. Inside now for Kane. Brad Richards now about playing with Patrick Kane. He says he's kind of like a cinnamon that plays on the wing.
He's a puck possession guy. He's best when he has the puck. He loves it. If you're playing on his line, you want him to have it on his stick. He makes things happen. This line's had like 12 points combined in the last 2 games. They've been really good. Joel Quenneville said that. You know, he knows Kane is on his game when all of a sudden the puck is tracking with him all the time. He always has it.
Last one of them playing in the goal in the last 2 games for the Blackhawks. Against Calgary and against Dallas last week. This was their last home game for a while. They're on a 6-game road trip. They call it a circus road trip when the Barnum and Bailey Circus moves into the United Center. Next stop for them, Vancouver tomorrow night. Oilers out from behind their own net. Marincin. Into the middle now. Off the stick of Nugent Hopkins, who has to turn back, and he gets it to Martin Marincin. Marincin. Angled off by Seabrook. Shot well wide of the mark. And another penalty call coming up here. Going to be a high sticking call. We're talking over. And this is going to get
Careless use of the stick. He catches Dicko right in the face as he's spinning out in the corner there. And 17.5 seconds left. Face-off will come all the way down to the right. Victor Foss in the face as he's spinning out in the corner there. 17.5 seconds left.
He knocks the feet up for Dana. So what a chance here early on for the Calgary Flames to ignite their offense with an early power play.
Power play last season was ranked 22nd in the league. Johnny Gaudreau is out on it. Troy Brouwer is a new addition to the power play. Sean Monahan on his 22nd birthday today is the centerman. Dougie Hamilton.
When you let your stick get
and Joe
another power play
defenseman back
for
to
the
the blue line and
Blackhawks.
switch
This
sides.
is their 5th power play of the night. Long shot that Crawford just wiped his wrist wide of the mark. And Rosenbaum keeping his own zone. Pass in and out of the skates there.
In the second intermission, they're not going to be very happy about the one that wasn't called.
The Blackhawks will have a
And the
power
call
play
that
to
the
start
Duke got
the
the
third
penalty
period.
shot.
3 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second. It's been a tough night for these Edmonton Oilers on a hockey night in Canada.
Welcome back to Rexall Place. 3 goals in the front, 3 more in Rogers Place. 4 goals in front, 6 set up over Edmonton. And earlier today, well, not a surprise considering the time of year it is, some snow falling in Edmonton, approximately 5 centimeters. But that is no comparison to Patrick Kane's hometown in Buffalo. More than 2 meters over the course of 3 days. Sabres game canceled. Buffalo Bills game moved to Detroit. And there has been a lot of this going on. And Kane said, in fact, his buddies were going to his parents' house today to help shovel. Patrick himself also has a house in Buffalo. Tomorrow, his mom and dad are going over to try and find it. Gary and Dave.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So, we are about to start the third period. Thank you very much, Gene. It is 6-0, as Gene pointed out. Antti Ranta did not start. He was sick, couldn't go. Corey Crawford just did the start.
It was just downhill from there for Edmonton. A couple of saves for Corey Crawford, and then the breakaway for Taves, and there's the 5th goal by Marian Hossa. 4 even strength goals, a couple of power play goals, but just some shoddy play by the Edmonton Oilers. It has not been a fun night for them. Breakdowns in all the areas that they have had issues with since the start of the season and have not been able to correct it. When you play a team like Chicago that takes those miscues and turns them into goals quickly, it turns out to be a night like this. And it's going to be a long one. Finish it.
And the Blackhawks start the third period the same way they started the second, which is on the power play. Johansson still in the box. And that late high sticking call he took in the second period. 2 power play goals on the night for Chicago. Here comes Hendricks, short-handed, trying to go across to Gordon. And that was broken up. Rolls the ball now into the middle for Taves, who, by the way, had his second goal taken away from him. They have now given that to Chris Versteeg, so he can make it 6 different goal scorers for the Blackhawks tonight.
Which we thought it was going to be Versteeg. It looked like Versteeg, and you could see why they thought it was Taves, but it was clear that he never got a stick on it.
Third time this season that Chicago has scored 6. Third time this season that Edmonton has surrendered 6. Duncan Keith holds the line a couple of times, puts it into the corner there. Was looking for Hossa, who now is a 4-point night, a goal and 3 assists. So much for the slow start. Back to the line for Keith, takes a look, hammers it in there, and Foss makes the stop. Into the slot, turning his cage, backdoor side, got a good shot away, and Foss came across to get enough of that. Here's Hossa, Petrie watching him, side shoots, up high on Foss, makes another save, and it's cleared.
That's twice in that power play where Hossa is getting outmanned on the wall, and as soon as he gets into trouble, Taves the first time and Saad the second time, pop into that top of the circle soft spot, and they get him the puck.
Smith now out of the corner, in behind for Nordstrom. Nordstrom works it back to the line. Power play is over. Team's back at even strength. Hossa along the boards, can't get it past Kruger at the point. He'll dump it to open ice in the corner. Schultz is there. Up to Johansson, who shovels this one to center. Shots are 21-14 in favor of Chicago. 14 shots for the Oilers against the Chicago team that leads the league at 37 shots per game.
Well, they started the season, they were struggling with scoring goals at even strength, 5-on-5 play especially. It was a real battle for the Blackhawks. And in the past 7 2/3 games, they've scored 20 of the season. They were struggling with scoring goals at even strength, 5-on-5 play especially. It was a real battle for the Blackhawks. And in the past 7 2/3 games, they started the season, they were struggling with scoring goals at even strength, 5-on-5 play especially. It was a real battle for the Blackhawks. And in the past 7 2/3 games, they've scored 23 5-on-5 goals now. So they've figured that out. You wonder what makes a guy like this tick. Well, 6-0 game and you're on the power play and Roosevelt makes an ill-advised pinch, doesn't get it out, and watch 81 bust all the way back through one Oiler right to the other. Back checking hard and veteran play by Marian Hossa. 81 bust all the way back through one Oiler right to the other. Back checking hard and veteran play by Marian Hossa.
Marian Hossa, who earlier this year got his 1,000 points. Drops it off for Ferris. Wide shoots, and that is the forward with up and out of play in the netting behind Corey Crawford.
Well, for the Edmonton Oilers, you want to come out, you want to have your best period of the night. You want to come out and try to win the third period and try to create some little bit of positive light on the end of this game that you can kind of move forward with, that you come out, at least you won the third period, but their body language just looks really defeated right now.
They're heading out onto the road for 3 games, starting with Dallas on Tuesday. In fact, 6 of their next 8 are on the road. And it appears as though their struggles against Western Conference teams will continue. They have yet to beat a Western Conference team this season. Bickle corrals that. He shoots it and snaring it with a glove. Will Victor Clark.
Nielsen with a glove.
Chicago, as I mentioned earlier, they track that puck so well. The tempo and the pace of their game is at a very high level. It's hard for some opponents to stay with them when they get that pace set. If they just get on the puck quickly, good patient play, lots of time for a guy like Carcillo, who you don't want to give any time to get his head up and make a play to the open man.
Carcillo, who missed 10 games with a right knee
Earlier, they...
Bickle corrals that. He shoots it in.
Scores! 5-1 lead. And Patrick Kane is 18.
Chicago, as I mentioned earlier, they track that puck so well. The tempo and the pace of their game is at a very high level. It's hard for some opponents to stay with them when they get that pace set. If they just get on the puck quickly, good patient play, lots of time for a guy like Carcillo, who you don't want to give any time to get his head up and make a play to the open man.
Carcillo, who missed 10 games with a right knee injury, returned last Sunday. Into the lineup, here comes Henry. Hard off the board, did a consecutive start, even though he was scheduled to get a night off. Here's Holzer trying to pick his way in. The question for Joel Quinto will be probably because his headline is will he start Crawford again tomorrow night in Vancouver? Johnny Azulia goes across to Johnson, but pulls him outside the line. And Azulia put the referee on the back end of that play.
His arm and his shoulder, he landed extremely hard on that. I'm curious to how he got there.
Here's Saad. Couldn't release the shot. He's been open to the high slot for just a moment.
Marian Holsa with 4 assists.
Now. Gives it to Taylor Hall. As mentioned, Nikita Nikitin, their highest paid defenseman, a healthy scratch tonight. Here's Hall picking his way to the zone. Gets it back to line for Petrie. His blast tipped wide of the net.
David.
I'm not sure if he's fully at 100%. I think there might be a few injuries that are involved as well, and it's hard to play up to your potential if you're banged up a bit.
He did have back issues earlier on, but when asked about it the other night when he was benched against the Devils, Dallas Egan said, no, he's fine. Leading everybody to believe he's a healthy scratch tonight, but you're right, he has had back issues.
At any point in the season, most of your players are playing with something that's bothering them, whether it be a little nick here or there, whatever it is, but most of the players play through a lot of it. You get something like a back, and it affects a lot of things.
Duncan Keith battling forward along the sideboards, along there with Everly, who tries to dig it free, but there in support is Versteeg. Versteeg to Kane, back to Versteeg, back to Kane, and it's taken away by the owner.
Oh, this is no Shaw, no Sharp in your lineup.
Walking in now on his backhand, there was Everly, got it in there, and forcing Crawford to make another stop. Here's Kane, who will drop it off for Chris Versteeg. Versteeg tried to center it off a skate to the line, and it did come up. Dolmanson was a beat late.
We talked about the schedule that's going to be hard in the Oilers of late, and they got Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, St. Louis. I mean, and all those teams can put big numbers up on the wall, and they're going to have to really clean up some things here as they head out onto the road. And all Western Conference teams, which
10 straight against the West, Gary, and 18 of the next 19, as you saw in that graphic there. And they are 0-9-1 against the West.
It doesn't matter who you're playing. You got to win hockey games. West, East, it doesn't matter to me. At this point, you got to win games. You got to find a way to win games. Don't worry about where your opponent.
Carcella in front for Pickle inside, and Foss makes the stop.
Where they're from. I think you got least about where they're from and more about just getting your game in order.
Posel trying to chip that one around Oduya, and nothing doing. Johnny Oduya. He was drafted 221st overall by Washington. Never played for them. Here's Hossa snapping a shot. That is blocked. Ian Thomason has really become a great player for them.
He's found a niche here. He really has.
13:08 to go here in regulation on a night at Rexall where it has been
Rogers Place. 5-1 Hawks.
We talked about the dynamic duo of Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane, and said they may be one of the strongest duos in Chicago history, but you got to go back, and Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita, two great Chicago Black Hall of Famers, won the Stanley Cup in 1961, and who could argue that they could be right up there with these two guys. But the great thing about these two lads, Kane and Toews, is their history book hasn't been finished yet. There's still a lot to be written, and already 2 cups in your pocket already.
Patrick Kane, who just passed the 500-point mark in now 535 games. And the thing about Patrick Kane, too, is that, we know he's a Magic man. He scored so many big goals, great shootout winners, a cup-winning goal, but he just grows off the edge, according to Joel Quenneville, year after year.
It's his attitude. I think his attitude has changed a lot. He's come in better shape. He's recognized, where he fits and the kind of leadership he needs to have and the kind of player he needs to be in order to win on a regular basis and be a winner, and I think his attitude has changed. That's been the biggest thing.
Here's a turnover right on the stick there, and a good shot. Crawford down after making the initial save there on Arcobello. Down again, and Corey Crawford has got the puck. Off the turnover in the Chicago zone with a few mistakes they've made tonight, and it came from the rookie.
Crawford was out pulling a loose stick into the net. There you see it going into the net, and gets turned over by Clendening with a little sloppiness here, and it's a bouncing puck that the Oilers pick up, and Crawford tracks it, and right in front of him, and what a goal. With the leather. He picks that out of the air, and what a display he's put on for a guy who wasn't preparing to play tonight, and probably had mentally shut it off. Has looked pretty good.
Another scramble in front of Crawford.
That's another kick save.
Yeah. He's battling here. Schultz with a jam. Scores!
Talbot. Nielsen.
Another scramble in front of Crawford.
That's another kick save.
Yeah. He's battling here. Schultz with a jam.
Shut it off. Wasn't preparing to play tonight, and probably had mentally shut it off. Has looked pretty good.
Another scramble in front of Crawford.
That's another kick save.
Yeah. He's battling here. Schultz with a chance. 28 goals. Minutes and 21 seconds into the third period 2 games ago against the Vancouver Canucks.
28 goals last year for Perron, and he led all Oilers, and it looked like everything was just falling into place for him. And unfortunately, this year started, and he just could not get any rhythm going offensively, productivity-wise, and it's taken 20 games to get 2 goals. The Oilers just can't afford to have guys who they're looking for production from. They just aren't able to find it.
It's a 3-time 20-goal scorer. And there's some kind of traction for the Oilers.
It's like prestige for Chicago. I mean, for 2 years, he just kind of disappeared. I mean, he was a 4-time 20-goal scorer. And they just keep waiting for him to find his way again, and this line may be the answer.
He's playing well tonight, isn't he?
He has played well. That line has been really good.
Oilers right back to work in the Chicago zone. Clendening chops it away. Pickle puts it up the boards, comes back inside the line. Deneau does the rest. Philip Deneau, former Defensive Forward of the Year award winner in the Quebec League for Victoria, a trophy named after Guy Carbonneau.
Well, another player they missed is Trevor Van Riemsdyk. I mean, Joel Quenneville could not say enough about the kid and how important he was to their team, and Glendening getting the chance to play with the injury of Van Riemsdyk.
Blocked the shot. He is out long term. Here's Keith. Blinds, fires right on. Baack makes the save and holds his ground and covers up. Well, an entrepreneur with a major league connection thinks he has the perfect pitch. Will he bring his A game or strike out in the den? Catch an all-new Dragons Den Wednesday night at 8 on CBC.
10-12 to go here in the third period, and 6-1 Hawks lead. As we look at one of the great logos in NHL history. And
Chicago Blackhawks have loved playing here of late. 8-2 of their last 10 games at Edmonton. Face-off one. And there's right on. Baack makes the save and holds his ground and covers up.
5. Let's go in the third.
Well, an
offside call against Calgary with 9 seconds left in the second. You look at this period and you say, okay, good for Calgary to come out after being down by 2. They get the 2 shorties, tie things up. But in years past, you look at Edmonton and that might have made them wilt, and that might have been the end of their game. And instead, it's been a quick turnaround. They took advantage of a pretty favorable call, and McDavid has given that 2-goal lead right back.
Year of late, 8-2 on. Orange back to Hossa. Quickly to Seabrook. His one-timer wide of the mark. Orange can't get it past Saad. Jordan takes a look, puts it up the boards with up and skated away by Henry. Lucci gets there by Hossa. Relentless in a 6-1 game.
Doesn't change the way he plays ever. And that's what you love about him as a player.
35 years of age, he'll be 36 in January.
You know, he doesn't look like he's lost a step at all. I mean, it looks like it's just 5 years ago, same thing. He just keeps playing the same way. And here's a guy that if he really wants to, he can easily play into his 40s.
Like the guy that was here last night, Jaromir Jagr.
So strong on the puck. When he has the puck on his stick, it's just hard to get it off him.
Oh, knocked off the puck there by Jomerson, and Keith was back there, so is Richards. Puck is bouncing around, and now it's cleared by the Blackhawks. Here's Versteeg. 2-1 chance. Versteeg across. Scores! Kane! And Keith
To get it off him.
Oh, knocked off the puck there by Jomerson, and Keith was back there, so is Richards. Puck is bouncing around, and now it's cleared there by Jomerson, and Keith was back there, so is Richards. Puck is bouncing. For the season, I got a
4 things that Joel Quenneville talked about today with us. We saw tonight.
Bickle.
Things that Joel Quenneville talked about today with us. We see his plays, and he's been really good. I think all the things that Joel Quenneville talked about today with us, we saw tonight.
Bickle gets it back to the line. There's another blast right on. Foss rebound. Bouncing around. Cano's in there. Got the shot away. Philip Cano trying to score in his first NHL game. Carcillo. Into the middle of the ice. Comes near side now for Roosevelt. The defenseman has that taken away by Marincin. There's a guy still looking for his first NHL goal. Mark Marincin. And he throws that one away to Roosevelt. Saad chips it back in. Eaton close to the puck. They'll chip it off the inboards, and it's met by Hall.
Here's the guy they got to sign too. Brandon Saad, Kruger, those are 2 guys they have got to get signed for next year. And we mentioned the money issues, $21 million kicking in for Taves and Kane next year. And we got $65 million, as I mentioned earlier, tied up with 15 other players. He's still got to sign 6 more guys, and those 2 guys are going to deserve it. I mean, pretty good players, right? So the cap's not moving enough. They're going to have to lose bodies, and players know that.
Brandon Saad had career highs last year with 19 goals. There's a shot, and Crawford makes the stop. You know, it's expensive when you win, and the Blackhawks do a lot of that, and they are in charge here tonight, up by 6 goals at Rexall. Welcome back to Rexall, which is emptying out as we speak here. Boy, the old red light's been getting to work out here, that's for sure. Here's the Budweiser red light scoreboard for scores around the league is now 4-2 in the only other game going on right now. That's on Sportsnet. New Jersey with a 2-goal lead over the Calgary Flames. Stamkos scored again tonight. How about the Islanders? Ripping off another win.
Might have to change that red light after the game. He might be burnt out. You know what? You look at Leddy, who's here in Chicago, and Boychuk in Boston. I mean, the Islanders were recipients of having cap space for teams that needed to get rid of players but couldn't take a player back in return. The Islanders were sitting there and go, okay, we'll take them. And look what it's done for them. And that changed their whole dynamic on the backside and beating the Penguins tonight.
Here comes Hall skipping into the zone. Looks for some late help, and it arrives with Jeff Petrie. Petrie towards the net. And he tries to keep it in, but it's skated away by Brad Richards. Richards in there against Petrie. At long reach, broke that up. So more questions for the Oilers to answer. Here's Richards in, shoots it on Fox. Fox stays loose, he couldn't corral it. And for Steve, back to the line. O'Dea, back to Chris for Steve. Very difficult 48-hour shutout last night by the New Jersey Devils. And hammered here at home tonight by the Chicago Blackhawks right from the start. Scrivens got off to a shaky start. He got the hook. Fox came in. And the Oilers are staring at their 6th consecutive loss. And the Dallas Stars, who are starting to get a little something going themselves. That's up next. Here's Perron, and behind the net. Yakupov with his buck. He shoots. Crawford makes the save, and the rebound bounces out to the blue line. That's Yakupov, who is taking off that full face mask. Now just has the shield on there.
7-1 game here. Something that you wore to start, you're not wearing now. I mean, it's odd that you would take it off at this point.
Deneau tries to get it deep and cannot. And it comes back for Clendening. Across the Roosevelt. Johansson at center ice. Can't advance the puck, and it bounces into the Oilers zone. The Boston's not going to take any chances. We'll take another break with 5:06 to go here in Rexall on Hockey Night at 10. There's a couple of proud parents who made the trip from Victoriaville tonight. That is Alain and Michelle, the parents of Philippe Deneau. Deneau was a first-round draft pick in 2011. And look at the group of players the Blackhawks had in 11. They had 2 first-round picks. Another one named Martin McNeil was taken 18th overall. Right now, he has 9 goals and leads the team in Rockford. And there's also another defenseman there, Klaus Dahlbeck, taking 79th. They like him as well.
You look at Smith, his shot at 139.
Yeah.
That's great scouting right there. When you can pick up a guy like that.
On Fox, makes the save and holds his ground and covers up. Well, an entrepreneur with a major league connection thinks he has the perfect pitch. Will he bring in a game or strike out in his inning? That's an all-new Dragons Den Wednesday night at 8 on CBC.
10-12 to go here in the third period, and 6-1 Hawks lead. If you look at one of the great logos in NHL history.
Chicago Blackhawks have loved playing. Here's one.
Taking it from their ends off one right over to Buck. They made some nice plays, and I think all those names, Schmidt, I mean, they have Kruger, all of them over 100 in the draft. I mean, that's money into your... The Oilers will tell you that.
Well, that's the thing, you know, I think that as you mentioning that, all the first overall picks and first rounders they have in this lineup that is yet to pay any kind of dividends. Kruger was hammered there.
All these big hits in this game.
In the corner, Thomason tries to step around Arcabello. Ole still battling with Kruger. And it's up the boards for Jesse Johansson.
Those guys that went in the first overall, these are talented players. You can't stand there and say they're not talented players. For some reason, they just haven't been able to mesh it together and get the answer to a winning recipe here. 8 seasons of This is just a lot to take.
Penalty call coming up here against Ferentz, and the hard forecheck by Deneau draws a penalty, and the captain's going to the box.
It's been a tough game for all the defensively Edmonton Oilers, and Ferentz gets in the group of all of them, and he reaches in and plays Deneau when he's chasing the puck down, and that's interference, and you're not allowed to do that. They'll give you a bump. You'll be able to take a little bump on somebody, but play them that aggressively.
And you mentioned a young player trying to make his mark in the National Hockey League. Bad timing there as Russell turned around with the reverse pass, and Tkachuk didn't lay up in time. So the first penalty and an early opportunity for the Oilers to get this crowd back on their feet.
Power play is brought to you by BioSteel Sports Nutrition, the natural choice for everyday performance. Drink the pink. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins starts on the power play. McDavid is to his left. Maroon to his right. There's a shot from the point. Oscar Klefbom jumps in here. Yes, for everyday performance.
350 to Black.
Oh, he was trying to get you a goal.
Absolutely. I mean, you have the luxury in this game of giving these guys opportunity, giving them more reps, getting more of a look at them.
Bain to Marincin to the line, not out. Clendening corrals it, gets it to Brian Bickle. Bickle into the corner for Philip Deneau. There's Clendening with a drive. Taves now out of the corner. Gathering speed there. Gordon is there. And this is Bickle. Marincin pins him. Comes free for Adam Clendening. Back for Deneau. The captain out of the corner, banks it off the boards. Clendening gets in a sit down. He goes across to Rosenball. Cross-ice feed to Taves. Up top to Clendening. Rosenball, one-timer, big stuff there by Boston. The rebound goes to Taves. Deneau walks into the corner, gives it up to Rosenball. Back to Clendening. Down low again to Rosenball. Throwing it around here, not getting a whole lot of shots. There's Clendening with one blocked by Hendricks. Down low is Jonathan Taves. Taves gets it to Carcillo, who stepped in off the bench. Blackhawks trying to complete a full change here on the fly with the long change as they keep that clock running. 16 seconds to go in the penalty to Ferentz. Johnny Oduya snaps it in there. Fox headed his net. And it's put up the board, met by Carcillo. Jalmerson goes across to Oduya, takes a look, blasts one that hits a body in front, and there's Ferentz out of the box with less than 2 minutes to play in regulation. And what will be said, what will be reported, what will be written after these two games, Gary?
You look at Eakins in that meeting he had on the ice with his team this morning, and after it was over, they all got off the ice, and the response that you get after something like that is what you got tonight, and those have got to be questions that people above are going to be looking for answers for, and again, something has to give them.
Tanner Hall snaps it in on Crawford. Again, a guy who found out he was going to play tonight not too long before the game started.
And it's like every coach does a ton of preparation. And you look at Dallas Eakins, and you got to know that this is killing him. That's absolutely killing him. Anybody that knows, that's been in his position, knows that you care. You care about the guys on the ice. I mean, he cares about himself too, but these kids that are out here playing, he knows this is a tough goal for them, and he knows that there's a certain breaking point in all this as well. You know, this is the thing, when a loss like this happens at home and your building is almost half empty before. He cares about himself too, but these kids that are out here playing, he knows this is a tough goal for them, and he knows that there's a certain breaking point in all this as well. You know, this is the thing, when a loss like this happens at home and your building is almost half empty before the game's gone through 2 periods. It's not good.
One last little piece of housekeeping here. The summary, they've now changed another goal for the Blackhawks. Seabrook's goal that we thought was tipped by Taves is now credited to Taves. So Taves, who had a second goal taken away, is now given another goal back. So he does have a 2-goal night. And it's now 6 different goal scorers for the Blackhawks.
Scrivens, you could tell the way he looked when the puck hit the glove that something got to it before it got to his glove, and that was tell the stick of Taze.
Final minute now as that shot goes wide out the stick of Ferretz.
Something has to give pretty close.
Taylor Hall
stops the play on the faceoff. Well, there's pressure, and you think for a split second Hamilton was coming in, thought he would get a good chance on goal, and it's just a bouncing puck. This has been a bit of a frustrating time offensively. And then you go back to just the 2 short-handed goals by the Flames, but other than that, they haven't been able to generate that constant pressure in the offensive zone.
About himself too, but these kids are already playing. He knows this is a tough goal for them.
Backlund, Kachuk, Bennett come out on the power play. TJ Brody.
This has been a bit of a frustrating time offensively. And then you go back to just the 2 short-handed goals by the Flames, but other than that, they haven't been able to generate that constant pressure in the offense.
Heading NHL 2000 YouTube video player group seek slider at 1 hours 33 minutes 0 seconds at 1 hours 33 minutes 34 seconds at 1 hours 35 minutes 24 seconds.
Waiting around to boo again, unfortunately. This team started the season with a 5-game losing streak, and they're going to lose their 6th straight tonight. Yakubov centers, and it goes wide of the net. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road now for 3, looking for answers. Looking for bodies now that Pouliot is hurt. Hall straight up the middle, final 10 seconds. Taylor Hall snaps the shot. That's second attempt, wide of the mark. And this one is over.
1 hour 34 minutes 23 seconds.
Even though it was over a long
24
time
seconds.
ago. Chicago comes into Edmonton and spanks the Oilers.
And a lot of questions, a lot of frustration, a lot of videotape, a lot of everything. Some teams would just take a videotape like that and just get rid of it because it's a one-off. But this is something that they've got to find answers for here in Edmonton, and that's the guy who's got to be the lead on that. And just dejection is what I look when I look at the body language of the players and the coaching staff leaving. It's dismay.
As the Oilers exit the ice, we'll tell you about our 3 stars tonight. Marion Hossa with a 4-point night, and Jonathan Tage, who's beaten him up with a 2-goal evening, and Patrick Kane as well extends his goal-scoring streak. He put the final nail on the coffin tonight with a 7th goal, and 7-1 is the final.
Where some roads end, other journeys